All right. Can you see my screen?
Yep, you
Yep.
got it there. That's it.
Great. Great. All right. So I'm looking at the presentation, but I can also see you. If you've got any questions, probably best to ask them as I go, so we don't have to go back to the slides. And so today is a series of at least 3 sessions that we're going to run today. And I've used one of the feedback or one of the challenges that someone mentioned last week, which is I'm drowning in emails. So I thought I might just as well do the first session on that and how to help you manage your inbox. So what I've built for this specific session is meet your new email intelligence agent. So I'll walk you through what the problem is, what the solution is, and how to get there so you can implement yourself. And so the agent at the end sort out what actually matters based on your criteria, surface what you need to worry about or actually address ASAP. And it does also draft the replies in your own voice. I built it so it doesn't send the draft. So it's always with the human in the loop. So just a refresher, because I don't know how much people know, this is such a space where everyone is at different levels. So I thought I would start with what AI can do. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list, but it can help with the first draft of anything, to be honest. And emails is the one that we're going to talk about today. It can create some images, so that's good for social media, for example. Explain complex things simply, summarize long documents, turn rough notes into clean email plan or draft of anything. Do some research and obviously streamline your repetitive admin. In my case, I use it across all of it. Now, there's some items that AI will probably not be good at. First, it shouldn't be deciding on what really matters. The rules should be coming from you. Anything around advice you can ask, but be careful on what you share with your clients and really anything that could be affecting your reputation if something incorrect or wrong came out, you should really be in control and make sure that nothing goes through the crack. So what the problem is, it's actually a very costly inbox problem because there's some studies. I think this one was done in the US, but the figures are very similar for the Australian market. So people working on computers are spending a third of their week managing their emails. Like, can you imagine how long that is? So that's basically 2.5 hours per day. And what that means, if we start to put figures in front of it, obviously I made some assumptions to come up with a final number. But I basically use, well, if AI was able to take on 80% of the work, and I assume people had a salary, an average salary of 100, plus whatever time you save here and whatever time you would put in sales or whatever that takes your business to grow, well, it's basically costing on a one person per year about $170,000. So what that means is this is costly for your business. You're missing out on a lot of people that you can help in general with your services. So we definitely need a solution for it. And I'm going to launch the demo and I'm going to try to pause it because it goes really fast. It's only 1 minute, but this is basically what good looks like. So if you want to have a look, it's all demo figures. They're fake people, fake emails. So this look as an Outlook page. You've got about 25 emails that are unread. We would have already or you would have already determined what the triage is, so what urgent look like, what type of folders you would want to have on the side here. And then this is what your normal email box would look like. So you would have stuff where you archive basically your emails. All right, so you ready? Because it goes pretty fast. So then you can see that all of these folders have been populated. You can see that the urgent folder is going to have, here we go, 3 different urgent matters. You would see that AI decided that 10 draft needed to be done. So the human is going to check this one, is happy with the outcome. As you can see at the bottom, it would automatically send it to your normal inbox and archive it. This one, the human actually decided that a change was needed. And then happy with the outcome, we'll just send it. Again, the email will just be stored automatically. Anything that the AI is not able to label itself, you'll have to do it manually. You look at the email, you decide where that belongs, and then here the AI just learned from that action that you've taken. And at the end of that exercise, your inbox is empty. It doesn't mean you have nothing to do. It just means that now you can actually go to the folders that actually matter. So starting with the urgent, probably after that into clients and pipeline. So I'll go back to the presentation. And so now I'm going to go through how to get there and what to consider. So there's actually 5 steps, and all of them are for you, the business owner, to identify and to sort out for yourself. Do not trust the system until you've got enough reps, and then once you do, you can let the AI do the work. But first, you will have to decide what are the categories or the folders that you want to have on the site. This is what was on the left side of the demo. Then you'll have to define what is urgent, because AI doesn't know that. It doesn't know your business. So you have to tell it what is urgent. Then you have to teach it your voice. So that would be about telling it, I'll go through each of them afterwards, but basically, how do you talk to people via emails? How often do you want this triage and sorting being done and drafting being done? And also, how do you keep the answers honest and accurate? So the first stage, pretty simple, pretty easy. That's probably one of the easiest steps, which is basically defining what your category is. And if you already have an inbox with very defined folders, you can probably copy and paste. Just make sure you don't have a lot. Probably 5 is probably enough the way I structured here. You would probably have your clients, the ones that are paying for your services. Another one that's pipeline, which is basically new businesses. Anything around suppliers and vendors, anything around internal, so that can be internal communications, like HR communications, admin, invoicing, all of this. And then everything else could be, not everything else, but any newsletters that you receive on a daily or weekly basis. And then if you notice, I don't have the not labeled, but you should definitely have one. So AI can just drop things there if it doesn't know where it belongs. And so these folders will have to be determined by you, and then the AI will just follow the rules that you have mentioned. The second thing is about teaching it what is urgent. So urgency gets a score, and it gets a score based on 4 different elements. Again, all of this is tailored, right? So you define what all of this means to you. So that can be the sender authority. So if it's a client, a leadership, or a supplier, is there money involved or a risk involved through the email that you're reading? Is there a hard deadline, a date, a meeting that is mentioned in that email as well? And is there anything around? Does that sound like an escalation point around frustration, errors, or complaint? And then based on that, you will see that the scoring will show, well, P1 or priority 1 is very urgent. So this is what's going to end in that urgent folder. And then you can define how deep you want to go, but potentially, is there an action that is needed? Is it just informational, or is it just noise like your like the newsletter or the promotions? And obviously you have to give it context. So you have to give it a list of like the key people, the people that you do receive a lot of emails from, so it can learn from it. And then you're probably going to need some examples as well, on probably more than 2, but example on what urgent look like and what something that is not urgent look like. Again, it's all about training the AI to do the right thing for you, but you are in control of the criteria. The third step is basically teaching it your voice. So if we decide that this is the right format for the right folders, then there's definitely probably different tones that you're using depending on who you're talking or who you're going to reply to. So your client is probably going to be more direct and professional. For the pipeline, it's a little bit more warm and no pressure. For the suppliers, it's probably a little bit more transactional, no small talk. For internal, it's a little bit more informal talk. And in the newsletter, there's probably no response to this anyway. But so as you can see, you would have template for each of these different folders, and then you feed this into AI so it knows what tones it should apply when they draft the email. The fourth step is about setting the rhythm of it. So mine, for example, runs only 3 times a day. It's not live, but you can do absolutely what you want. So that can just be event-driven, which is every time you've got an email coming in. You can have it at different schedule interval. So at 6, like work time, for example, every 15 minutes or every hour. You could have it at a fixed time, so 8, 1, and 4, or you could have it on demand. So it literally does nothing until you trigger it with, please do the sort out, sort my emails out and draft the email. So again, your choice, whatever that works best for your business. And the last step is, how do we keep this honest? And really, it's about what happens when you have to correct it by hand. And it's just really think of it as think of it as a new employee, right? You kind of have to teach them what to do before they are confident in the doing. And sometimes you have to correct them as well. So when you correct it, every edit goes back into the voice file if there's anything to change with the draft. If it's something that it's misplaced, then you have to explain why that is as well. Before anything is sent, I will definitely keep the system as draft only, especially if it's for clients and prospect, to be honest. And then you're the one clicking on send. And then probably once a week, take 15 minutes, go through everything that happened. If everything was fine, happy days. If there was anything that was corrected, just make sure that he has learned from it and just basically ask the question, did you learn anything this week? And then it should have picked up whatever you've corrected that week. And so really, as a recap, the next step is first, you answer all of these 5 steps that we just talked about, whatever that works for your business. Then you decide, cool, now I know what I want. How am I going to build this? So you can either do it yourself. It's probably going to take a few hours to set up, not just about putting the category together and the voice. This is really easy, but actually implement this into AI is probably what's going to take a little bit more time. But once it's done, it's done. Like then afterwards, it's purely maintenance. You could have some of these off-the-shelf software. So there's plenty out there. Now the question is it actually works for you? And it might, and that's probably the best solution if you don't have a lot of emails or if you're the only one in your company. And usually they will charge per seat and per month. Some of you might already using some of them, or you start using someone else because the idea is to think bigger. The emails is only the one challenge at the surface, right? If you fix every problem in siloed, well, you're probably going to have a consistency or a holistic problem at the end, right? So the idea is really to have a view of what other challenge would you want to solve, and just make sure that every solution will fit with one another, or at least do not block one another. So, sometimes, and Jay is the right person to talk about this as well. He's got his own operating system. I do as well. And the emails is only one component of how we use AI. And so that's it. My ask for you is, I've decided to talk about emails today because this was mentioned last week, but there's a button here. I'm sure we'll share the slides. I just created this little Google form. There's only one question, and it's basically, what do you want to talk about next time? So I've listed 3 topics. It's either never miss a follow-up. Do you want to have your whole business into one dashboard? Or do you want to have better answers, better outcomes from the AI with the right context? So if you wanted me to tailor that session based on your feedback, Happy days, and click on here.
I've just put the link in the chat, Loz.
Yep, I'll do that. Oh, you have done it. Cool. Thank you.
Just done it now.
Hold on.
Cool. If you want to try to do it yourself, that's totally fine, and you feel stuck, just give me a call. You've got a booking system here that I'm using, so feel free to reach out. And I'm done with the presentation. Do you guys have any questions?